So I would like to invite, in the interest of time, His Excellency, the Mayor.
Honorable government officials, honorable ambassadors, representatives of UN agencies, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by extending, on behalf of the city government of Addis Ababa, its residents, and also my own name, a heartfelt welcome to Addis Ababa and to the site handover ceremony for the construction of United Nations High Commission for Office Building Block in Ethiopia. We understand that the United Nations High Commission for Refugees marked the Refugees Day 2017 in Ethiopia mainly to express its recognition for the country, which sheltered over 850,000 refugees. In Ethiopia has a long-running history of good neighborliness, deep-rooted culture of hospitality and coexistence. As a gesture of goodwill, Ethiopia has given a shelter to a huge number of refugees from neighboring countries and elsewhere that have fled their beloved country for various reasons. Truly speaking, promoting good neighborhood is a time-honored tradition of Ethiopia. Here it becomes imperative to recognize the valuable work and the generous assistance of the Commission for Refugees living in Addis Ababa and Ethiopia at large. As you might know, Addis Ababa has a long tradition of receiving refugees since the 1980s, particularly during the arrival of the members of anti-colonialist Pan-African movement from various African countries. The Ethiopian government, apart from its policy that requires refugees to reside in camps, it also allows them to reside in urban centers, primarily in Addis Ababa. These include refugees in need of special medical attention and those with serious protection concern, as well as refugees that benefit from the out-of-camp policy of the country. Figures indicated that Addis Ababa offers shelter to over 20,000 refugees of various nationalities. These refugees benefit from the generous out-of-camp policy of the country. And the policy enabled the refugee to mix well with the residents of the metropolis and have access to education, amenities, and lead a normal life. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I strongly believe that the speedy socio-economic drive of the city will have a positive impact in widening the protection space for refugees and will also benefit the humanitarian actors working to help these people in need. As part of Ethiopia's firm commitment toward strengthening the protection of refugees in the country, the government of Addis Ababa has decided to allocate a land for the use of office construction by United Nations High Commission for Refugees. Hence, I'm highly pleased to announce that the city government has granted this prime land adjacent to the African Union with the area size of 4,435 square meters without a lease for the purpose of constructing the United Nations High Commission for Refugees office building in Ethiopia. Addis Ababa is the commercial, political, and cultural hub of Ethiopia. It's also the diplomatic capital of Africa. The United Nations has acknowledged Addis Ababa as the third largest United Nations duty station, right after the New York and Geneva. Addis Ababa is also the seat of the Economic Commission of Africa, various embassies and international organizations. This is a big asset to the city and the country at large. At this point, I would like also to reassure that the city government is strongly committed to continue the support to refugees and also to the High Commission for Refugees and other organizations engaged in Ethiopia refugee operations. In conclusion, we should also boost cooperation as an effective vehicle for enhancing common development. Once again, I declare that the city government and residents of Addis Ababa stand together with refugees. I thank you.
Truly pleased to I am truly pleased to be here this afternoon to at this very pleasant and important ceremony. Mr. Mayor, as you know, I have come to Ethiopia to observe yesterday, together with the government, World Refugee Day. Why to Ethiopia? Because as you have said, and as we all know, Ethiopia is one of the largest and longest refugee hosting countries in the world. And I thought it was important that on World Refugee Day, my presence in Ethiopia sends a message to the whole world that Ethiopia is a generous country, is a forward-looking country that keeps its doors open to people fleeing war and persecution, and at the same time pilots approaches to support these people, as you have described, out of camp approaches, self-reliance approaches that are truly innovative and that pave the way or give or inspire other countries, or so I hope, to follow in the same direction. So the donation of a plot of land right in the heart of this important capital of Africa and of the world, right next to the modern buildings of the African Union, is a practical gesture and a symbolic gesture that we greatly appreciate in UNHCR. And I would like, please, you to convey my thanks to the city administration, but also to the people of Addis Ababa, who are truly citizens of a world capital. Of course, construction is next. We are a poor organization. We need to find the money. We'll find the money, but it may take a little time, so be patient. We will have to do some process to, as they call it in this terrible modern language, make the business case. I told you earlier, even, you know, my money people, they don't listen to the High Commissioner very much because they hold the purse. So I have to convince them that this is important, that we have currently premises that are a little bit narrow for us, and that our work in Ethiopia is likely to continue and probably to expand due to the many challenges of refugee flows, due to our work with the African Union. So it is a very important project, but you have to let us do the necessary to get to the point where a proper inauguration will take place. But I do hope when that once or the other, when I'll be back here, that will be the object of a visit to this plot. Once again, thank you very much on behalf of Clementine and my colleagues here of the UNHCR office in Ethiopia, and thank you all for coming here to witness this important gesture of solidarity to the United Nations, to UNHCR, but above all to refugees. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that handover ceremony. I think